Hi guys, how you doing? Let me just get to the other thing here. All right. Okay, can you guys hear me? This should be good, right? Okay. All right, just checking things. Yeah, when it rains, it pours. When it rains, it pours. I'm telling you. I'm just noticing some things. Welcome back. The live feed goes faster on my YouTube end than on my StreamYard end. So like I noticed that I see your comments and stuff coming up faster there than on my StreamYard, which is kind of annoying. Sorry about that. Hi Jackie B, hi Ellen R, Fiona, everyone, and um I just really appreciate you understanding the craziness of dealing with these issues. Um, Gosh, let me just check my live. That's weird. My comments in my live part of my StreamYard thing are not updating. I hope this is not going to be a buggy situation, but I might be able just to bounce back and forth and just depend more on the YouTube side. Okay. Yeah. So there we go. I'm just gonna do that for now. I guess I'm gonna have to. Maybe something buggy playing up with StreamYard. The only issue is there's like some kind of a delay. Please tell me you got my question. I believe I did. Um, let's see here. Is a door. I'm sorry. DE Warrior Witch. Yeah. I'm still not seeing this. I know that if I try and close this out, I would have to totally restart my live, and I don't want to have to do that quite yet. It's a little weird because then when I look back at my YouTube side of it, I'm there's like a slight delay. So it's very strange, but that's so typical. Yeah, I like tore an area of my skin. And if you guys notice, I am wearing the red. I don't know that red is the best lipstick color on me, but I'm wearing it to be uh to be resistant. uh to resist. And this color, if you're curious, this is a nice one. This is NARS. Just wanted to let you guys know. Somebody suggested this, and I think it's a kind of a fun idea. And it's called Bad Reputation. And it's like a kind of a satin. It's not dry like a matte, but it's kind of a bright, as you can see, red lip. Okay. Yes. Uh, your grandson. Yes, I can take that one. But it's so odd because now I don't know if I'm going to be able to star because I'm not seeing on my StreamYard and oh, finally it caught up. Thank goodness. I was going to say, oh, this is going to be a trip. All right. There we are. Thank goodness. It caught up. Ooh, I was panicking for a moment. So yes, DE Warrior Witch got it. And Jackie, I'm gonna get you. Okay, and Michael. Okay, I think we're gonna tap out here. And then yeah, and Mandy, I am gonna have to honestly, yeah, hey there. All right, that's why do I have 12? All right. I got Kathy. Let me just repeat back who I've got on here. I might have Michael Anderson down more than once. That might be part of it. And I've got Nicholas. Okay. I've got Michael Anderson, Gina's Place, Fiona, Sandy, D.E. Warrior Witch, Nicholas, Lori Christine, Jackie B. Oh, I did. I got Michael twice there. That's part of it. And then I've got Ellen R. Kathy, and thank you so much, Kathy, for your donation. That's very sweet. And your medical testing. Okay. Oh, I hear you, sweetie. We'll read on that. And Mandy's question. That's it. We're done. So no more questions. Sorry for anyone else that comes in. Um, I'm only taking Mandy's as a quick favor. So that's it. Thank you. Let me just see. I do need to refresh because I was guzzling a bottle of water earlier. Ooh. So again, I've got some health issues that are chronic, and I have to stay off my sides. I've got issues on both sides. Pressure, uh, sores are been a bane for me for a while, and they're insidious. I also wanted to show you guys I got a new deck, and it's a little clarifier deck. See, this is what looks like freshly applied. Nice, huh? Anyway, it's the Rose Bell Oracle. And so we'll try that tonight with maybe some of the questions if we need some clarifiers. All right, so, and I got most of my, except for one deck, most of my Trish James decks set up. Oh, getting thirsty again. And taking the questions. So I am ready. I also wanted to show you guys something that I got recently, and we'll play with it later, not this live, but maybe next time. For those in America, you might remember Zoltar if you when you went to the mall and things like that. Um, so I've got a little one here, and once I figure out how to like run it, it should be pretty simple. Uh, we'll do a little live with it and just have some fun. And Zoltar will give you your reading. Not tonight, though. All right. So let's go ahead. I'm sorry, questions are full. Taken up. All right. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and go for that. Michael Anderson wants to know if I can see any of his guides. Um, if I wouldn't be able to do that just like right now, but if I were able to totally relax and block out the fact that I'm running a live chat and so on and so forth, then I could maybe pick something up. I get a lot of stuff through dreams, and more and more now also in my waking conscious, but I'm pretty occupied. So, like, right off, no, I can't say that I can see any of your guides, but I will give you a message from them, and I'm going to use a deck that there's two things that was occurring to me. I'm going to use a deck for that. And the other thing is that your guides and all of us are energy. So they might appear more as light or energy. Sometimes guides will take on a personal appearance. I've had one of them do that. And that's taken me years to kind of make that connection and calm myself down. Um, so let's see. I guess I'm going to go ahead and try this. You know what? I think, all right. I'm going to go ahead and try the Pulp Tarot. All right. Just to see if I can see how that works. Just a basic tarot to see if we can get maybe some descriptors of how they might identify themselves or even like energy wise for you. All right. And we'll just do that we'll try to do that very quickly. You know what? I think the other deck is going to be better for this. All right, yeah. Let me just put this one here. the problem when you have so many decks. Yeah, trust you right or wait. All right. So, Michael Anderson, and thank you, Michael, for being here and being patient, learning how I do things and just how I work. I'll go into that. I might make a little video for people that are curious. That would be a good idea. So many ideas. So little flesh lift on my buddy. Oh, all right. So let's tune in to Michael Anderson and his guides. Most of us have more than one. For me, I know I have three. When I read on myself, they always show up as three, three, three. So I think also we have guides that kind of come in and out, but I think that we have like a main one that's with us like 24/7. That's just my, experience and confirmation from other people that have had similar ones, but it's not to say that's set in stone or anything. Um, so let's see what I get for you, Michael. And let me just look at the live chat. All right. I'm getting the sun, so it's going to show me much more like light, a bright light, kind of like the sunlight, um, which is not unusual, kind of that white golden light. And what it's highlighting, though, also for you as a message, you're getting the sun and the Eight of Wands, and it's some feeling of like you feeling stuck or restricted. Um, Boy, do I know that feeling. A lot of us do. But I don't know, just kind of hear me out and consider this. But they're highlighting something of feeling maybe where you're uncertain how to get out or to shift from a situation, shift energy. Yes, I got it, Nicholas. Thank you. It's really sometimes circumstances, literally also physical issues can cause these things. But they're highlighting some feeling of being kind of stuck with something. Maybe you feel like you've gotten to a point where with some things that you don't know, like plateaued, or you feel kind of like you don't know how to shift beyond them, to move, to be more free. And that would include contacting them. There might be that also. I'm just getting that, maybe highlighting the idea of deprivation, of like where I'm saying that you put on your sleep mask, where you put on your blackout curtains if you've got those, and earplugs, and just pray and meditate and relax until you are quiet, alert, but not like asleep. And then things can start to come to you. Getting here something about there's a little sneakiness with this Seven of Swords. What's that highlighting? A time, a change. Something is taken away. So it feels like there's highlighting some sort of freedom of movement to free you up. And there might be, you know what? It's just occurred to me the way the cards come and fall. The card that comes next after the card of being tied up is the card of taking away the swords that surround this person and open up change. So there's a need to open up. There's too much restriction, and you may not know how to open up, but where your guides, and this is what they're also talking about, it is to remove some limiting ideas. Each of those swords is a mental energy. And many times it can be our own ideas that we've kind of held on to that we just don't realize are holding us back or keeping us closed off. But there's something about opening up your energy by working on removing limiting beliefs or ideas that you can't do it or, things like that. Just be open. Just be like Switzerland, We're, there's also a card here with the five of swords for you where I think it's like lower esteem, maybe. Um, this often is when people have put us down or just been unnecessarily cruel to us, and it ends up affecting our own sense of ability. So your guides are talking about removing these limiting, probably projections, Michael. This is their message for you. Just take it in. That these are not your thoughts. These are not necessarily true. These are somebody else's projections, and you don't need to carry them around anymore. All right? There's the Six of Pentacles. And this is help. And this is like exchange sometimes with people that is beneficial. But let me see what's paired with. It's the Seven of Pentacles, and it's an offer. An offer of help looks like it's going to be coming. Maybe with working on removing the toxic, limiting ideas or notions that might have you um, feeling stuck in life in different areas of your life. It's about releasing them. They've done their damage, but now we need to realize that they don't belong to us. This is so and so's poor self esteem when they said, oh, this and that to you, that kind of stuff. It's realizing, excuse me, I gotta get a sip of my coffee, that these don't belong to you. Okay. And so it's like removing the wound, the knife out of the wound from all these years. That 10 of Swords is one I know well. And when I'm getting cards that like this, that are talking about like some part of you is definitely being shown as feeling like you have to be smaller than you are in a way, that you have to be, that you're less than you are. And that's simply not so. And typically, again, it's from years and years of people saying crappy things, being bullies. Um, and you might need just a little bit of help to extract all of that what isn't yours and is clearly someone else's crap to work on from your being. Okay. The Knight of Wands shows up and just moving on from it. So, and then actively moving on. In this case, I don't see it as that Eight of Cups as a negative. And overcoming tremendous challenge in your life, something things that have challenged you. And I think that it's dealing with a lot of repeated people that you've known in life, probably family and lovers, friends, whatever, possibly, where there is this repetition of somebody else's projections that have been put on you that you're carrying around, and it's time to release it. That's the main message I get for you. And your guides, I'm seeing in my mind's eye as light. Let's just see what else they might want to reveal. Okay, Michael, really quick. Is there identifying cards that Michael's guides might like to use to identify themselves, their energy, so he has a little more information to go on? Okay, let's see what we get for you. Well, I get a Queen of Wands, so I'm getting a very strong, warm, energetic. I would see her as almost like a coppery light, the beautiful amber and reds, but beautiful. Queen of Wands, very caring, very bubbly and energetic, like I'm saying. She would be more outgoing type of an energy. So you have a feminine, a grown human energy here. She carries, I think she's your main one with the Ace of Wands, because that's her energy. And again, we're getting more about warm colors and fiery energy, like sunset, like this. Ah, there you go. And this is my typical, it's your guides. Again, light, like stars, sunlight, and like little mini, I think that's what we really do look like, are like little mini stars. And then we have God, that's, the Godhead or whatever you want to call it, the great light. And again, I'm getting a feminine energy for you, Michael. Sorry. I guess, but I get that they're working really hard with you as well, over and over. So this one, these feet, I'm getting a main one as being a feminine energy. Ooh, been with you through thick and thin. And there's personal boundaries that they want you to work on. All right. For your own fulfillment. And that can be when you're dealing with extended family and immediate family. But I get for you a very protective, feminine energy as a guide. And maybe two, but feminine for you. That's interesting. I hope that's helpful, Michael. And if it doesn't make sense right now, just, hear me out, put it on the old shelf, give it time, and see if any of it kind of clicks in place. If it does, then you're gonna know. All right. And just give me that grace, because there's usually a little bit of time that you have to allow for things. I know it sounds silly, but there you go. I hope that's helpful to you. And thank you so much for asking your question. Okay, Gina's place is next. Okay, so she wants to know, which suitor do you see with me in a few months? There are, oh my goodness, two air. Sorry, guys, I got to shift around, but I know you understand. Make sure I'm turned up for y'all. Um, two air, one fire, and one water. My goodness, Gina. Well, I think I'm gonna definitely need a little sip of coffee for this. I've got about that left. I'll shut that off and go with water. All right. So, again, I feel like this is the deck to use. All right, Gina. Which suitor for Gina will she be with in a few months? Who is out of the ones she is with now? Who is she going to be with in the next few months? Okay. Gina, suitors, and the next few months. Just give these a good shuffle. I'm aching to use these other cards, but sometimes the readings just don't call for that deck. Okay. Which suitor for Gina in the next few months will be about? Ooh, I thought I slipped a card there. Let's see what we get. Okay. I'm getting the Ten of Cups, the Eight of Wands. This is definitely like, okay, I just got to give you what I'm getting there, Gina. This is like a flurry to me of socializing with all those cups, and involvement with people, and like I said, connecting on a social, really positive level. So that's good. And it's like its activity's going to pick up. You might even meet more people. Look, notice I'm not getting any court cards yet. Weird. Okay. So then there's patience, and this is a plan. This is taking your time with things and deciding, you know, how you want to proceed. What is your goal? Making up your mind, even maybe. All right, let's see what card is paired with that. Temperance. um, this is a balancing out, I think, of these and finding the one that is the most, I believe, balanced. We get another. This is being independent with the the 9 of Pentacles, and being in a very comfortable position, positivity. And oh my gosh. And there's like expanding. I just feel like there's the door is open to meeting people here. You're feeling really positive. Ace of Pentacles, there's new things happening, and goals where I think these meeting people and connecting are occurring, because you know where I got the card of you planning? Well, it's all for the manifestation. These are like the blossoms that you're trying to grow on the vine, just so you know how this little thing about the pictures on the tarot, it's really true. There's kind of a reason for that. So that's why I'm getting this kind of a like goals where I think socializing and expanding the the whole dating thing, staying away maybe from, hopefully, from people that are unkind. We do have that 5 and too proud or egotistical. I think they're gonna, whoever is proud or egotistical, I think they're gonna be going. Here's the Tower, something unexpected. Can you believe this? I still haven't gotten a court card. There's like, this could be, maybe there's some jealousy or some conflict that could come up with all these suitors. Be careful of that. It might be something you're not anticipating, but something could come where folks that you're, you know, getting to know and things, there could be some conflicts that you don't anticipate. And it will be kind of separating the wheat from the chaff here and walking away, I think, from certain people. Um, I think there's a decision there to walk away from anyone that is obviously creating some kind of chaos. I think you might have a jealous suitor or something to deal with. I want Gina's problems. Page of Swords. This is being, let me just get that. This could be someone that is either asking for help or someone that's offering you help. I'm not sure, but there's kind of a watchfulness. There's My concern is that I hope that none of these types would be like getting too obsessed or something. But I'm not really getting obsessed here. But I do feel like that's a lot of testosterone. There might be some horns that, clash like the Rams do. There's definitely feel of that kind of an energy. You might be asking others to help you to decide what to do here. I think that after there's some kind of a blowout that I see that might happen if things continue um with these suitors. So be careful about that. There's a burden, maybe taking on it a bit of a too much, you know, with some people. And I think there is a completion. So I think those that are going to drain you, be careful of that there. there's something that's unforeseen there, and I'm still not getting. I'm getting the past, and I'm getting families. Um, there's going to be light here, joy, clarity, definite clarity. Thank you, Michael. Oh my goodness. Um, and there is some kind of real end again of a release of like somebody might put you through it. That's what I'm concerned with some of these folks. So just be aware of that. Because I see like a lot of socializing and it might somebody might get off on the wrong foot or something or get jealous. I don't know. But I feel like there's a kind of a numbness pulling back. I just concerned that somebody may not be as together as you would need them to be. Wow, I still okay, now I see celebration, a new time of celebration, a new start. I think with this current group, be careful. There could be something, I don't know, that could set this situation off where we got a melee kind of or just maybe just conflictual feelings. But it looks like you're going to have to work through that. Um And I feel like here you make progress. But look, we've got the Three of Cups. Um, so maybe you drop one of the few that you've mentioned. I see you as the Empress here. You definitely no problem with the beauty and attractive and womanly uh abundance in energy. But look, these three again. There's three. Here we had some activity going on again, but then I'm worried that there's three, maybe three out of that you've mentioned are not going to be so positive here. They could let you down. Maybe players or something. I'm just not really sure about that energy, but there is this could be a possible new relationship with the Ace of Cups and moving very determined, very strong, very clear, forward moving. I think you could leave these folks, these suitors, seriously. I think maybe none. I'm not trying to be cute. I just think there could be some issues that come up in between that time and possibly where somebody likes to party and be maybe a little bit of a player with some of them. I don't know, man. There's conflicts here. This is a little complicated. A lot of people involved. Queen of Wands, and you need boundaries. I think, you're vivacious, but your light attracts people as a Queen of Wands, and I think that even if you're not a Wands by birth sign, it's an charisma. King of Wands. So that's finally we get a King of Wands, okay, and a Queen of Wands. But I think this is gonna be trying for you. And you'll overcome it. But look again, the three again. Notice that the three cups are overturned. I think three of them are going to be very disappointing. Because we keep getting that number. And watch and see if that doesn't pan out. So I'm going to say the fire. I think the fire could be there. Let me just go for confirmation with another deck. Just try that. I know. That's where I'll go to the using the fun pulp fiction tarot or pulp tarot. Sorry, like the pulp novels, not like the film. Other than that part. So let's see. Is it the King of Wands that Gina will choose to be with? Or is it none? Will she be like, this is just too much? But I did get that Ace of Cups, so I think there could be one. And the only one I got was that King of Wands. You guys saw it, so that was weird and just notable. Let's see. Let's give these a good shuffle. I just found these again, so. Six of Wands, Wands energy. I'm going to go with that. And I think he's the one that's getting the recognition. But as I always read with pairs, Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, I think the Wands dude, Ten of Pentacles, dealing with that family energy, family money. Ooh, and death. So I wonder, I hate to say this, but there might be someone out of them that is dealing with inheritance, maybe, and a death in the family. I don't know. And it looks like they're kind of living it up with the Nine of Cups. And we have a King of Swords. So that's pertaining to one of the heir, possibly. I hope that makes some kind of sense, Gina. But again, I'm going to say, because it was Wands, that first energy we pulled out, I'm pretty sure it's the King of Wands. All right. I hope that's helpful. We have Fiona. All right. Do I have any special abilities? I know we all probably do, but just wondering about mine. Sure, let's take a look. I'm going to put this deck back in the back in the box. Okay. Oh, there's the pamphlet. I'm notorious for not getting the pamphlet back in. All right. Okay. Let's see. I'm just thinking what deck would be really good to use. I have a few here that might. Hang on a second. Okay. Maybe I'll try that. Maybe I'll try What's the Vibe deck. I'm glad it does, but just, it looks like there's some tower moment in there with these mixture. So men and women, when it starts getting, people can be very passionate, when it comes to matters of this. So just be careful. There might be some tough situations that kind of rear their heads. All right. Make up my mind. All right, I just wanted to look at the other deck too real fast. No, that's more of a clarifier. Yeah, and the reason why I use cards is because during my waking time, I can't just always pull. I can pull some kind of impressions and stuff, but unfortunately, I'm not. This is the kind of the one I wanted to do. See if we can work on with that. Let's try this one, Fiona. It's a chakra deck by Trish James, Mind, Body, Spirit, and it's really cute, but it's a little different, as you guys can see. I don't know if she still has any of these left, but if she does and you all are interested, Trish James oracles.com, and that's Trish with an E on the end, and James with a Jaimes. Okay. So, all right, let's go ahead. It's gonna be interesting to try and shuffle these, but let's see what we get. Huh, they do a YouTube tutorial. Trish does some neat stuff. All right, let's see what we get for you. There's a thank you. All right. Fiona's abilities. Fiona's abilities. Guides. Using this deck, help me to direct Fiona so she can work on maybe, a skill that she doesn't realize that she can open up that might, suit her more. What is a means for her ability wise to be aware of that she possesses that maybe she doesn't know where she could work on that? Like for me, it's mostly my dream time and where I have to shut out this world, but really through dream for me. Okay, let's see what we get for you. Clairaudience. Oh my God. This it answers what I was hoping that I was like, I don't know what her gifts are, but foundation gifts. You were asking about your abilities, gifts. This is so you're getting clairaudience. And this would be obviously where you can hear um what others cannot, spirit, and what else? Let's see what else we get for you. You get money, balance. If you're good with money, I need that help. So that's interesting. Balanced chakras might be something that if you work on, like when you're meditating or when you're trying to work on your skill of opening up your skill, your clair. So far, it's just showing me clairaudience. Um, so this would maybe be better facilitated where you were doing perhaps some meditations on just balancing out your chakras. Often sound like the Tibetan bowls help me. And it's funny, I was showing one of my nurses one of them and she loved the sound of it and we were both like kind of noodling out on the sound of it. So there is some kind of effect. So work on that. They're answering us. And apparently you balance a mean checkbook. Um, oh my gosh, opportunity new. So that's what they're giving because I've pulled four and I'm just gonna pull a couple extra because I want to, I am extra. Manifest foundation gifts. And what did it show you? You have foundation gift, apparently, of clairaudience. Gut instinct is also another one of those gifts that you have. All right. So that's your intuition. That's like when like you get that sense of I don't think I should make go to that appointment today. Something's and then later you find out there was a car accident or you know, that kind of thing. And you're getting new knowledge. So there I think new knowledge is awaiting you if you choose to develop your clairaudience. So check into that, see if that rings true. Give it You have to be very patient when you're working on stuff like this. And most of us will tell you that. I mean, some folks are just like, whoop, whoop, you know. Others, we have to put a little more effort in to kind of shut things out and open it. So that's what I have for you. And I just, man, I'm so stoked that I was able to offer you that because I was thinking, do I even have a deck that's gonna like, I might have to really use my outside the box thinking, which is fine, but that's wild to me because I thought this one is more like chakra exercises. Um, and it fit the bill. I'm so happy. Ding ding. So if you're curious about this deck, this is Trish James Oracle. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. TrishJamesOracles.com. And that is over in England. So there's cost to ship and they're not cheap, but very worthwhile. All right. So, next question. Thanks, guys, for being patient. Really appreciate it. Okay, Sandy. Then we have DE Warrior Witch, Nicholas, Lori Christine, Jackie B, Ellen R, Kathy N, Mandy, and that's for some reason I highlighted Gina's sticker. Okay. Or maybe it does that automatically. That's weird. Okay. And thank you, Nicholas, for your donation. I just see it now. And thank you all, Kathy and Michael and Nicholas. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Okay, so Sandy is next. Why did my sister's dog move into my home? Well, this is the thing about the dog. I kind of remember this. 3 weeks before he passed away. I was grateful that he felt comfortable in my home in his last week's days of life. Is he with our family members? All right, that's beautiful. So why did he end up shifting into being in your home before he passed away? Let's see if we can get an answer on that. All right, I'm going to use the Kathy Nichols deck. I'm sure it's all twisted. And let's see if we can get kind of an idea. All right. So let's look at firstly, okay, why the dog chose or ended up in your home 3 weeks before he passed away. How come that happened? Must have been maybe just, it could just also be your energy, the energy of the place would make him letting go. This is what I'm getting here. Um, More at ease. Sometimes beings need and will wait to be in another place away from their main family or caretakers, sometimes to pass, because it's easier for them to let go than if they're with those people. They might resist, and when they really should let go and move on. So that could be part of it. But let's just see what also these cards might pick up about why. Why did he end up with you? Is there a particular reason? I'm getting fall. And to me, this is like that final culmination, the harvest. And not to be weird, but like our souls, when they're ripe and we completed our mission here, we're kind of harvested, and we go back home. And mother, I think there's a nurturing energy and a fullness to you, your place. And I think he felt more at peace, just like I was saying. There's comfort, you know, knowing that he would have comfort. And let me just pick up on fall because there was an idea that I had and it kind of went. Might be able to pick it back up. It's release. Huh. Change, letting go. And maybe because your sister, or maybe if again, kind of going back to that thing, it'll be easier for him to let go. And also, you also have a very nurturing energy. He's not going to choose a bad place. Teacher and sorrow. So there's something about learning about grief and clarity with the eagle. Just want to see what else he wants to share. And princess. So there's somebody he is with on the other side, a feminine energy, and I'm going to say the princess, a feminine, maybe even a couple feminine energies. But there's something about teaching about grief, his passing is perhaps just considering there's something that you're going to learn and are learning, um, and we all are with his passing when we look at it like this, because we're learning that he felt like he could release better, perhaps from his main caretaker or his mother, so to speak, by being in another nurturing maternal familiar. And you're your sister's sister, so your energy might have that family familiarity. And he felt comfortable to release. He's helping you to learn, I think, about dealing with grief and sorrow and how to let go, um, to bring clarity and clarity about that you bring a comfort, I think, like this princess with the horse to other creatures. Let me just grab that with the eagle. These little code words are so helpful. So yeah, the eagle is a visionary mental sharpness, sees from a higher vantage point, greater acuity, greater clarity, and through about grief, I feel like heartache, sadness, suffering, but the knowledge that shadow emotions bring renewal. So this is helping you to grow as you ponder this. Like no kidding, but that's what's showing. I just want to get a little bit more out of this, see if I can before I go on to the next question. Or- and I think most definitely with family, but I'll pull a card for that too. Let me just look. Where's Princess on this? It's the one thing I flip flop here. Walks in beauty and is a shining light to others, treats all living things with kindness and love. You know, I'm going to say that the dog knew that you would be a very warm, safe place, also, like I was saying, to release from their form. Okay. And look, and they are with family. Here we have the stars. I love this one card, this love card. And family, I feel like, is holding them, is with them, and I feel like and along with the dog are showing up and sending love and saying that he's surrounded by love and no worries, he's not alone. There's more than, you know, he's feeling that love, the love of the creator and the love of those around him. And again, we're getting shooting stars, it says on there. And you know how we were just talking in the other reading about how our energy body can resemble what I think is like a small orb star type of light. Um, I think we're getting another hint toward that, just a feeling. So maybe also when you look at the stars, think of him and think of him and your family on the other side. that they love you and that they're there. And yes, this is the card of brother, and this is he's with someone on the other side that has his back. And I think it's his way of saying he'll be watching over you. There is a loyalty, which is so typical with dogs. And you know how I was just talking about the stars? You get the card of the star again in this deck. And in this deck, we'll just pull that up. But again, I want to reiterate, I feel like he was giving you that image to use as a message. That's okay. But I'll read you what the star says here. She is fierce, moody, and lives mostly among the constellations. Um, Fame and recognition. But to me, this is also connecting on the other side that you're recognized. And this is not a dog, but it is a fox. And to me, this dog is saying, I'll be watching you. When you look at the stars, um, think of me. You might also see little lights, kind of like what's floating around in my background. So that's really interesting. And that dog is very grateful. Um, so thank you for taking such good care. All right. And thank you so much. All right, let's see. We have DE Warrior Witch. If you all don't mind, I'm just going to keep going because we have quite a few here. And I'm relatively comfortable for the moment. So let's go on here with DE Warrior Witch. I got an opportunity to test in phase 1 for an important government job at the end of this week. Will I pass? Will I pass the other phases and actually get hired? All right, let's just ask kind of the ultimate question if this is going to pan out for you. And I think I'll just go with which one? Maybe I'll try the Trish James Oracle. Okay. Yep. You guys should see this card mess over you. Okay. All right. So let's take a looky-loo. What have we got for DE Warrior Witch? Is this government job that she's recently applied for and hopeful to get, understandably, is that going to work out? The end of the day, is she going to come in for more, you know, stuff that she has to pass and get hired up? Is this going to pan out? What does she need to know? DE Warrior Witch, what does she need to know about this job? Let's see what we get. Nurture, care for others. Okay. Searching, find yourself. Nutrition adjustment. And nest change, home or family. I think you might, although this deck is kind of missing the mark. So let me just use my regular. I don't know why I did that anyway. I wanted to use a deck, that's why. But I should have just gone with my instinct, this deck. Because it should be like yes, no. All right, so let's see. is she likely to get this job that she's applied for? See, it just goes to show sometimes you have to try another deck, and if it doesn't work out, you try another. Well, we do get the Nine of Pentacles, so that looks possibly good. Do get some kind of restriction though, some kind of um where you're feeling stuck, maybe from being independent where finances are concerned. Let me just pull some more. Here's the Page of Wands paired with the Page of Pentacles. So these two pages to me feel like that testing that you're talking about, those phases, um, these phases, test phases. So I see two pages. So it looks like there's two phases possibly. The Two of Cups. I like that. I like that. I like that. Please, please, pretty, 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 please. Ooh, I like this even better. Ten of Cups. I think so. I think so. I think they will have you come in for more of whatever this phasing testing stuff is with the pages. Those pages feel like that to me. And then I feel like you get, I would say you get the job. I think you might. Well, this looks positive to me. With your cards look good for it anyway. Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands. Maybe those are people you would deal with this job. Maybe a couple of women. I don't know. And here we have the Knight of Pentacles. That's certainly work oriented. And we have a release of pain from the past and opening up maybe we're to a new morning. So there's release. So there's something about letting go. We do have the Devil. There is the Tower. What is going on with this? Queen of Swords and the Empress. That is weird. I am not sure what. Oh, the Devil and the Tower. That that is corruption getting exposed. I don't know, something in government. You know, like with Trump, I tend to think it's probably something connected to that. There's a lot of money. I think this is a judge. So I think because you're in government, but there's some message here where that I think you're going to get it, but there's something significant that plays out around that. We'll just have to watch that, I guess. But it looks good. Um, I get the Five of Wands and the Eight of Wands. So yeah, there's some kind of conflict though. I hope that doesn't affect your job in any way. Fighting back and peace. So, I think it's going to pan out. There might be something you don't expect that will occur with it, but it looks like at the end of the day, if you stand up for yourself or if you push, if there's anything involving you, if not, it might just be acknowledging an energy that's going on around it. But I think you are. But there might be some extra stuff going on around about with that. So just keep an open mind and get back to me about what that was, because it might be stuff, government scandals, as they have been coming up, going on. I don't know why, but it wants to come up in that reading. So, your cards about initially the job look good, but there is something very weird them with uh the tower and the card of corruption, the devil being hit, his tower being hit. So there's something maybe that uh you're I don't know. We'll just wait and see, all right? We're just going to put that hold that thought. Maybe you'll have some insight you'll be able to tell us later about that. But that's interesting. I think you will. I'd be surprised if you didn't. Your cards look really positive. And if for some reason you don't, or there's some kind of change, there might be because there's some kind of stuff going on within the government that's might affect it. I'm not sure. So just hold that thought, okay, DE Warrior Witch? I know it's strange. All right. Next person, Nicholas. How much longer? I know. Until Orange Mussolini cashes in his non existent chips with both the state of California National Guard and U.S. military. Uh, oh, will both California State National Guard and U.S. military refuse to follow the Orange Dummy's orders? That's a good question, Nicholas. Thank you so much, and as always, thank you also for your donations. You're so sweet. I appreciate that. My nose is tickly. Sorry. Okay, let's take a look. Break it down. First off, I want to look at if California National Guard will refuse, and then separately the U.S. military to follow these orders. Will California's National Guard? That's a very good question. Will they go ahead and would they go ahead and carry out his orders? Because it is a federal agency. They probably would. I think that they're gonna. But let's just see. Will the National Guard take action as Trump has requested? Will they follow Trump's orders? Will the National Guard in the state of California will the will they end up following Trump's orders? Lot of worry. I don't think they like it. I think there's a lot of them that are anxious about this, and they're not the only ones. There's that underhandedness, and people are anxious for something underhanded happening or them being sneaky, doing something that's, following these orders. Hmm. Here is the authority, right? The Emperor, Orange Mussolini, the Five of Pentacles. This is a decline. And this is a decline. This is also people that are already in hardship. It's just a cruel act. It would be excessive, I'd say, because these people are there's a vulnerableness, and they should be protected, not put at risk, you know? And that includes like protesters as well by calling in National Guards. That's just like, is something could really, people get tense. This is Trump gonna like end up looking like he's in decline? what's going on? We already know that he is. We do get justice, okay? And it's paired with the Knight of Pentacles. So I think legally they're going to follow probably whatever directive they're given. But it's going to have to be something that, like, the courts maybe would say, I don't know, would say that it's all right for him to do. I don't, that's interesting. Page of Pentacles. Young people. And this is also like the aspects of the law and the Knight of Wands taking action. Um, I think that this issue is gonna be looked at, and let's just see. This is the cruelty element again. The overreach, it might be seen as an act of overreach and childishness. No kidding. The childish cards come out again for him. Being a childish bully. That is what's coming up. And the King of Pentacles being held to account. Judgment. There's a new awareness and holding people to account. Hmm. I think he's going to have some problems doing that in California. Now I could be wrong, but I'm just seeing the cards here, and it looks like it's fraught with. I feel like they're looking at rulings and laws and these things, but he's bound and determined just to be cruel. But I don't know that that's going to pan out for him. Queen of Pentacles and the two. There's like a stalemate. There's something that is. I just don't see it moving. I don't see activity here. So I don't think this is going to be decided anytime. And I hate to say that because I mean, look at the thing. I think there's going to be problems with him being able to do this, long and short of it. And this is wanting tensions to escalate so that, he can have an excuse to use that force. And we do get the Death card. We're getting fighting and the Death card, conflict and the Death card, putting an end. I think, they want to try to stop people from attacking ICE, so to speak, but ICE needs to stop being not upholding the law themselves and doing what they're doing. It's not lawful. It's not right. The Sun, there's going to be exposure. Page of Wands. I think there's action, there's Wheel of Fortune, there's change and movement, but there's waiting again. What is it? I think he's going to be challenged. And it might end, he's wanting to end people being able, I think, to protest, right? And I think using this, oh, they're attacking ICE. Yeah, and they probably are, but he's invited these circumstances. He's made them more dangerous. I just am seeing issues with this. fighting back against oppression. People are going to, like I said, no matter what, continue to resist. And if that means interfering and not making it easy for ICE to um, kidnap people, that they don't make sure uh, RH should be here, when they're doing things like that. We have the magician. This is going to get worked out somehow so these extremes don't go completely off the rails. But I think there's a greater hand that comes in to balance this mess out. But he's trying to escalate a fight by having them come in. I don't think that it's going to be so quick, maybe for him, that way. Now let's take a look at how much longer. And I do have a card. I do have a set of cards for timing, though I don't know how great they are. But so I think there's going to be all kinds of issues with him being able to you put the guard military in the way that he wants to use them, because the cards that show up are one of like really flagrant overreach, and it looks like I feel like people are looking at laws, like I said, and I don't know, trying to counter him. So I think for right now, things are still up in the air. Um, it doesn't look like to me like this is going to work out for him, because it looks like that extreme that he wants to try and do with his overreach gets handled with temperance, which does usually require patience and time. Neither of those two things are Trump's favorite, you know. So now let's just take a look at how much longer we have. Let's just ask, because he is in his end phase, and it's this summer with him breaking up with Elon was a major event. I think that's one of the major events of the summer that is going to accelerate his ending. Let's see, is this a timing deck here? No, that's not the timing. All right. Oh, you know what I'll use? I have an idea. Wait, no, no, no. I think I found it. In divine timing. Yeah, I found the deck. All right, there we go. Let's try this deck. I can't promise you anything. This is my gut feeling, is that we'll probably go into the new year with him, but I think a few months into that new year, I think just as these months proceed, more things are going to pick up, and it's not going to be good for him. It's just going to be like dragging him down and dragging him more or less out of office, because people are just becoming more and more like, yeah, impeach. What that's there. Oh, that comes from another deck. Sorry. So let's take a look at the divine timing for the orange Mussolini to be squished from office. When is he out? And Nicholas, thank you so much again for asking your question. And all of you, thank you so much. And if you haven't given me a thumbs up to help boost my little algorithm, please do. They're cutting my subscriber numbers again. They do that to you to play around with, just to stress you out. Okay. Guides, can we please use this deck? Or please use this deck and give me an accurate answer, if you can, using this deck as close as you can, is when we could expect time-wise to see Trump gone. Thank you. Within a year. That goes with what kind of I have always felt like he would have maybe 2.5 years total. So, again, I'm going to say his total once will be maybe 2.5 years. But from this point now, we're getting a year. So let's see, maybe by next summer or before, okay, he could be gone. So within a year, that's not that long. So, I think once again, things are just going to build up as they are now. And it's just going to be like he's just cheesed off enough people that I think like the impeachment articles and all these things are going to start gelling. And I think whatever way they end up, I think he's out um, within a year or so, give or take, give a little room. But this card says in the winter. Oh no. Okay, so I'll just leave it at that. Okay, I hope that's helpful, Nicholas. Next question. Lori Christine. Then we have Jackie B, Eleanor, and Kathy, and Mandy. Okay. So, Lori Christine. Yes, there we go. All right, let's see here. Let me put the timing deck back. Make sure I've got that gear all together. When will I hear from my ex-husband? Maybe I do need the divine timing deck out again. Seriously, let's use it again. See what we get. If it will answer in a reasonable way. If not, I'll use another deck and see if I can get a sense of it. All right. So this timing deck is called Godspeed Divine Timing. I got it off Etsy. All right. Lori Christine. When will Lori Christine hear from her ex-husband? I'm getting that warmth, that psychic warmth going again. Glad I'm wearing a thin sweatshirt, so. Ooh. When will Lori Christine hear from her ex-husband? Sorry. I'm getting a long time. In March. That doesn't sound right. Within 6 months, maybe this one in July. Since that's the card that makes the most sense that I pulled, I am going to put it at July. Getting warm. Sweating. Okay. All right. So let's see what else we have. Oh gosh, I'm hot. Sorry. Okay, Jackie B. General read for my summer of 2025. All right. Let's see. What deck do I feel like I need to use? Kind of drawn to use the Kathy Nichols deck. Okay, let's see what we get. A general read for Jackie's summer 2025. What is the energy for Jackie's summer 2025, guides? Okay, summer 2025 for Jackie. Getting the Raven. This is usually kind of, to me, it's like psychic communication. I am just too warm now. And Bloom. Some sort of where I think your intuitive skills would be opening up. There's gratitude. And you notice these two cards are very kind of night oriented. And then you get this card that's more bright with the. So this feels like that subconscious, that intuitive energy, even just with the colors of the cards to me. And gratitude and child. So it's about also learning to remember the kind of awe that we had as a child and kind of returning to that energy, being more playful and allowing ourselves that, like, not to have to, be the adults in the room, to play and to have gratitude. I think through being more playful. Let's see what else we have. And being grateful for the childlike spirit that you have within. We have leader and we have success. So that's really interesting. Let me just see what I get for, let's see, Raven. Sorry, when I have to talk over my family, it kind of distracts me. Um, carry you in and out of darkness. Okay, that's interesting. And the bloom. I just like to kind of bring it together. Growing, bursting, blossoming, coming into your own, filled with promise. So it's like leaving the shadows. I think it's going to be more positive and leaving some uncertainty and fears like behind. But there's an opening up, blossoming. The energy gets lighter. And with gratitude, those we love make us shine more brightly. Um, be thankful for the love and support around you. So, like, if you've been going through like a dark time, it looks like this summer brings you more light, more playful. The energy isn't as heavy. There's opening up from having gone through maybe a time where recently in the past it was perhaps more challenging. And I think being more extroverted out there with like leader and success, not being afraid to take the initiative. And I feel like with the efforts that you make, you would have success. So let's just see what else we have that encourages you. There's real encouragement here to come out into your own, to trust that, and not to hide your light, Jackie. Um, Seeing with your heart, shines like a star, lifts others towards the sky, has strength and wisdom. And it could also be that if this isn't per se you, it could be that there's someone that is going to be around you that's going to help you, uh, that has that kind of an energy. And there's success. So I just feel like there's opening up, being more playful, um, grateful. There's a leader energy there, and it could even be spiritual, but it just feels like there is someone that is very helpful. And if you're not helping and lifting up others, then there's someone that might do that for you. Let's see what else, because I want to see what the success one says very quickly. Good fortune, right action, victory in all things, triumphing over obstacles, achieving higher purpose. So, persistence, don't give up, keep working on things there. And especially where there's been loss, where you failed before. Don't just say, well, it didn't work out that time. I'll just forget it. There's the need to be persistent. If you don't get something the first time, try it again at another point. These things are somehow important for you this summer to be thinking about. You're going to be opening up. I like that. I want to read to you the child bit and then I'll get on to the next person. But it's really positive. Color outside the lines and court a child's mind and invoke play. There's again, and children, I think playfulness, lightening up, especially since there was a darker, heavier energy that you came from or had before. All right. So it looks good for you. And have faith, even though you can't see and don't know and can't be sure. Sometimes you just have to take a leap of faith. And it's healing. You have retreat. I think there's something definitely transformative and healing, and being around someone that brings out helps you shine rather than having to dim your light. And that looks really good. Okay. Let me just check in real quick. You're welcome, Jackie. All right. Ellen R. Then we have Kathy and Mandy, and I'll close the live. I want to thank you guys for being here. Thank you so much. All right. A general reading for June. All right. What's the energy for June? What's the advice? The energy for June for Ellen R. Ellen R. Her June. Okay. I'm getting the child again. I just shuffled this. And roots. Something about children and roots. The family. Okay, what else? Beauty. I like that. And you got the unicorn. And river. Don't try and force, go with the flow. So June is all about going with the flow and beauty and river. So we know already about child and children and roots. I wonder if I don't know if you're doing any research or reading up on family or something like that. What is this? Child, children, roots. Let's see. All right. Let's see here. Da, da, da. Child and roots. Roots. It's support, home, sense of belonging, and reaching also the heights of our potential. So that's interesting. Like child, I think, when we also maintain a more childlike energy, I think we're more open to be able to reach higher. Um, I'm still feeling like there's something about family. Um, there's something else I'm getting from this. Support at home. I feel like it's connected to family. All right. But it's positive. I feel like it's feeling strong, safe. There's playfulness. There might be a highlight on children, family, your roots, literally, and your home is highlighted, and beauty and the river. So, like, it looks good. It looks like appreciating family, the energy of the child archetype. And again, it's something, a card that's been coming up for me a lot, because I've had a lot of stress. It's like you need to lighten up a little bit, get some humor in my. And I'm like, no. But this this is about that too. And beauty and the river. So let's take a look at the river real quick. Yeah, flow, surrender to the non-repeatable moments of time, and everything is in motion. It looks like you're on track. And just to enjoy things like a child would, and to see through the eyes of a child, and to see the beauty and the wonder. Let's take a look at the beauty is rare spiritual or physical loveliness, attention toward outward appearances as a manifestation of inner beauty. So I think there could be art and seeing things of beauty, seeing it perhaps in a variety of settings. But for the month of June, it looks like just appreciation of beauty and going with the flow. It doesn't look like there's anything stressing out. Um, and maybe just to remind yourself of things that you enjoyed in your childhood and what makes you feel safe, okay, and strong. And maybe even some nostalgia. And we get the card of gentleness and prince. I don't know if you have children or anything, but I don't know. I've got the feeling of gentleness around a male energy, possibly a child at one point. Change, transformation with those butterflies when we see them, and revel. Maybe somebody's going to be, a child might be maturing. Um, or if they are, there's still a bit of a rebel there. I don't know. There's a very playful energy here that's come back into the scene. And I just think that we can find simple joys that really mean something when we use the eyes of a child to look at the world around us rather than the jaded eyes of an adult. Sometimes we have to do that for our own good. So I see June as being beautiful, and then really surrounding yourself with beauty and allowing spiritual things of beauty, and, and things like art that might represent the spiritual, you know, manifestation. Just finding, I think, beauty in a variety of things. That's for the month of June, Ellen. All right, that's what I'm getting. Okay, Kathy, and then Mandy. Can I get a card for the medical testing I'm undergoing? I'm so sorry you're having to do that, Kathy. Is this a big, hairy deal? No, you got my empathy. Or a hiccup. I'm doing all the things one is supposed to do and not relying on woo-woo for my health. Got you. Yes. So let's just take a look. You know what? I think I'm going to use the regular tarot for this. Medical testing. Let's take a look at Kathy, and let's, number one, lift you up, um, and just entrust you to Saint Pio, Saint Padre Pio, so that no matter what your issue might be, I entrust you to St. Pio. I ask St. Pio to look after you and help you with whatever may be at hand, big or small, or nothing at all. Kathy N. Her health right now. How is that going to turn out for her? Is this a big deal or is this a hiccup? What does she need to know? With regard to health matters right now, can we give her some objectivity? What does she need to know? A card of the past, maybe even childhood or sibling, even. Okay, I'm just trying to determine what that meaning is going to be. And we get the Hanged Man, different, some kind of some something from past suspension. Something's in suspension or delay, but there's enlightenment. Okay. Queen of Wands. I think there is a health issue. Okay. I think there is something that needs looking at because there might be like changes in values. I kind of pictured in my mind, the medical charts where after they've tested your blood and they give you values and stuff, there might be numbers or something that are out of bounds. There's some kind of issue there. I do see the card of harmony, the home, family, and taking action, as you were, saying, like you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. I think you will get this worked out with these two cards, with the Four of Wands and the Magician. This is taking action, communication, being proactive, as you said. And the Four of Wands is like harmony within the home, domesticity. And for me, it's, I think, a sign that you will, whatever it is that you will have to do here, because there does look like there's an issue there. And it might take you a bit by surprise, but I think it gets worked out with the Magician. We do have the card of death. Now, don't forget, it's not like you're going to pass, but there's this bringing things to an ending. And this is being at a crossroads. So there's going to be an end of not knowing. Okay. And there's something maybe a man isn't being completely upfront with. I don't know if this is your doctor or whatever. I feel like there's something he needs to be more forthright about. I do get the Nine of Pentacles for you and the Ten of Swords. So there is you have, it looks like you've been through a lot. I think there's issues though, and a new day coming with that. Like there's a dark night of the soul, but you have the new day, a new time coming where you've got light, you've gone through the darkness, especially where the health issues are, because it's like robbing you of your sense of independence. Um, we have healing and recuperation here. I like this. I like it a lot. I want you to heal, and you will be healing. You're going to have a lot. I think you have a little road ahead of you. There is something that needs to be looked at, okay? Don't think it's just a hiccup. Think there might be some issues with communication and the way a doctor might tell you things or what he's sharing. I'm not sure. But this looks to me like this is really, unfortunately, pretty stressful here, but there is recuperation. You have to pull back, and you get the Ace of Cups. It's like a blessing type of energy, and you'll make it through. Little dinged up, but Kathy, you're a warrior, and you'll make it. You'll make it through this. All right. I feel like a lot of prayer and spiritual blessing energy around you for this. So don't be afraid of it. Just deal with it and know I'm with you. You know, there's some hidden things that high priestess. Also trust your instinct. And I don't know, is this husband authority? But there's strength through your uncertainty. I feel like there's a comforting energy there of a male, be father figure, husband, or someone that's been that. And here we have the Empress, and then you move forward. I think you feel more yourself at some point, but I do think that there's some health issues that you're going to be going through. I do think, from what I'm shown, that there will be improvement. Well, it's a bit of a deal, but don't let it get the better of you. And just remember, there's light at the end of the tunnel. You will have to pull back and heal, but you've also got cards that show that eventually you get back up again. This isn't going to hang over you forever and ever and ever. Okay? I hope that's helpful. And feel free to come and hang out here anytime. If you need a little moral support, I can appreciate it once I'm able to be online because my own health issues. uh, I will definitely be more than happy to chat with you and check in on things. Okay? All right. So don't let this get the better of you, Kathy. Um, I see it will take work and fighting back, so to speak, on your with the healing, just like the work you've been putting in, but you will get on top of this again. It's not going to be having you down forever, but it's going to give you some trouble. So there's some health issues there you need to get sorted out. Okay. I'm glad you're seeing the doctor, but make them communicate with you and be more forthright, not to be coy with words or leave things out, from telling you. I hope that's helpful. All right. Last person for the readings. Then we close out, and thank you so much for making this live great. Mandy, can you please ask my grandson Ronnie's guide for a message for Nanny and Daddy? Okay. Sure I can. That's a nice way to end the live. All right. Ronnie's guides. Hi, Ronnie's guides. Ronnie's guides. Little Ronnie's guides. Have you got a message for Nanny and Daddy? Okay, I'm getting a sense that I should use the Kathy Nicholas deck. Ronnie's guides. Can you please give me a message for Ronnie's nanny and daddy? For Ronnie and what they need to be aware of? Thank you. Let's cut this deck because I was using it quite a bit. Thank goodness it's a flexible deck. Okay, message from Ronnie for Nanny and Daddy. These guys. Through his higher self, too. Community. Leader. This is someone that can help others, and that maybe there's I feel like he's highlighting maybe somebody in community that could help you guys with your issues regarding seeing him and such with this leader. Okay, that's just something that came because it's like maybe a community worker or something. What we'd counsel, of some kind for uh, folks in Ronnie's dad's situation. Like what would we call that here in the States? It's like a civil servant, you know, someone that can give him advice on what he could do and maybe what he could say, how he should handle this. Just a feeling there. I get dreamer and fortune. So let's just take a look at those two together and see if I can get a vibe from that. Okay, yeah, because community is like finding your tribe, the power of two, belonging, stronger together. And leader. He sees with his heart, shines like a star, and lifts others towards the sky. He has strength and wisdom. All right. So the two of you, I think he's highlighting, can keep each other strong right now, especially because of the difficulties. And maybe your son is the one that's seeing with his heart, shines like a star, but there's lifting others up and somebody that has strength and wisdom. If not, this could be somebody in the environment again that could end up being very helpful, maybe in helping also your uh, son to deal with the issues he's having. But I feel like that's part of the message. And the dreamer and fortune. Let's take a look at that. Well, dreamer is manifesting energy for the world. She speaks to animals and translate their messages for mankind. Allows you to dream your future, and it's paired with fortune. The wheel of fortune spins in many directions, and it's always in flux. Good or bad, luck can come in at any time. So there's change, and allow yourself to dream the future. Again, there's a message of hope that maybe even though you can't be around him right now, at some point in the future, that's going to change. So go ahead and think of the things that and dream about the things you'd like to do and being able to be with them and hang around them because I'm getting a message here. I think that could change at some point in time as he gets older. And make sure I got the deck the right way. And I'm getting the card of attraction. Okay. And shaman. I think there's a spiritual sensitivity also, and that this child might end up being very attracted to the spiritual in life. He might end up being a bit like Nanny, um, attracted and having a sensitivity with that shaman card. Let's just share attraction and shaman. Uh-huh. Feeling pulled toward a person, or there's chemistry. There's that that draw. There's that, and shaman, right? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? The grizzly bear has shamanic qualities. He's valiant, healing spirit who brings medicine to his tribe through his magic. Um, Night vision. I'm just feeling like this little child might be a little psychic. And star. And I think he at night when he's asleep, I think he connects with you guys. I think I do. I think he's an old soul. I'm getting that he also night vision. He could be a dreamer. We got the dreamer card for him earlier, right? Okay. Let me check something with Star. I think this little boy is going to be a little sensitive. And the Queen of Night receives messages from dreams and meditation. He might be also asking you to look at those things through your own and to facilitate connection to him through use, because you can't go and see, through meditation. And I'm sure you already are, but also pay attention to your dreams, okay? Because there's messages that could come through there. Highly intuitive energy, empathetic, close your eyes and see, all right? That's the night vision. And we got shaman here and dreamer. Um, Again, I'm just sensing a lot of spiritual energy with this little one. I feel like this is him that right there. He just shines. Um, and reflection. So there's to think again, to be thoughtful also with regard to those experiences through dream and meditation that you get, because I think there is, by sending out that psychic signal, if you will, I think he's very receptive and you're connecting, and I would keep doing that. I do think that there's somebody that might be helpful to your son in dealing with the child. Like I said, maybe a civil servant that can give some advice or something. I get the card of home and Empress. So this is a feeling I'm getting not only of his own mother and his home where he's at, but also acknowledging you as family and the nurturing side uh, of his father's family is being acknowledged. I think also you as grandmother, as the Empress. And he's connected. I think on a spiritual level, this little boy has energy happening, active with you guys. All right. And I get sorrow around the father card. I can't imagine, but to be resilient, to remind him to be resilient despite feeling depressed, to keep trying to get up and do things that make life worthwhile until he can see his son at some point. And I think he will. I think his boy is going to want to see him, and to keep that door open. And I get beauty, and to see the beauty in the world, not to let this jade him. Okay, that's a message for dad. Trust and into. I think, that you have to trust that at some point the energy is going to shift and change, and it's going to be the right time for you guys to connect. And I see it, I think, happening in the future. I think the mother, things will change with her eventually. It's unfortunate that it can't be right now, but keep trying to be present in his life and reach out through your meditation, through your dreams, and as a venue. And let his father know that he needs to not to fight back against the depression that might be coming up with this, because I believe and I feel that one day he will be very much a part of his son's life, and his son, and he will connect. But for right now, I think focusing on, as crazy as it may sound, building that psychic prayer meditation connection until he can see him is a really good idea to try even to bond that way. There's something that happens. We're all connected. We are all connected. So use that ancient primitive energy. All right. And I think that things will eventually get a bit better. Let's just ask one more. What would Ronnie like to tell his nanny and daddy if he could put it in words so that they have something? Guides, can you give me that? What is Ronnie's message for grandma and his dad? I'm going to give these a good shuffle. I get community again. This is about support. And it might be that talking to other people that have a similar issue, even official support group, might be helpful. And teacher, oh, I think you can learn. There's somebody that has information that might be helpful in community. Check that out. All right. Like, I'm serious. Like, civil servants, people that help the public with their issues. And have faith. Okay, Grandma, have faith. Even though you can't see, things will change and transform. And we have soulmate. I think there's a kindred spirit here with little Ronnie, and he recognizes that. Just to have faith through these difficult times right now. And again, we're being redirected again to have you look in community, check out community for somebody that can, I think, help you and teach you some things that might be of assistance, right? I get silence and intuition. So I think knowing when to say something and when to be quiet is really important, but also using silence to get in touch with your intuition so you can spiritually, I think, connect and send him messages and energy. All right. I think this little boy is a sensitive. Okay. I hope that's helpful, you guys. You are pickled in anxiety rash. Oh no. That's great that you do that. Your son is not well at all. Your your other grandson's into crystals. There's not a lot you can do right now, but the thing of your son and you finding support, talking to people and people that can give you information that you didn't know and may not have known about is really important. And it might make you feel less helpless. Um, and I'll check in again with you, okay? I love you too. And you take care there over there in the UK. And all of you that have been with me all through this time, thank you. All right. And I'll see you hopefully next week. Maybe I'll be turning the other cheek. Okay. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. Take care. Take care of yourself. And don't forget to pull back from the crazy human toxic energy that goes on in politics and whatnot. And take care of yourselves. All right.